What's up, everybody? We're the Unintelligent Graduates, and bringing you another reaction video to He-Man, Masters of the Universe Revelations, basically a Netflix anime, and we just gonna give you our opinions on it and should you watch it or not. We're gonna start off with the good old negative Nancy Scripps. So go ahead, start off, Scripps.
Look, I don't know why I need to be negative Nancy because I'm the one with honest reviews. Because look, I like a lot of shit Kevin Smith does. In fact, I like everything Kevin Smith does. I like the storyline, how it was written. I don't like the fact that this is called a He-Man sequel because it's not a He-Man sequel. This man promised this was not going to be a story about Teela, but it is exactly that. It is not a story about He-Man and Skeletor getting it on, trying to get this all figured out. No, it's about Teela needing.
He didn't make a promise that it wasn't going to be about Teela.
Look, this was Teela needs some tequila to protect Grayskull, cuz that's what this was. Because I'm like, man, this a Teela story, man. This is like a whole thing. It's like She-Ra. This is Teela, cuz like this is her show. This ain't He-Man Masters of the Universe. You know what I'm saying? Like don't be piggybacking off He-Man's name because you want to make some woman-powered woman's Avengers show, cuz. Call it what it is, cuz. Call it.
Dang,
dog.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a whole new side of you I haven't never heard of.
You piggybacking off of He-Man, and you know what I'm saying, to make people watch your political agenda about how Kevin Smith always makes everything about a female protagonist. You know what I'm saying? Which I like.
Right. All right. So you're against it being a Teela show, a Teela centric show.
No, I'm against it being called a He-Man show when it's clearly a Teela show.
It's not even He-Man. It's called Masters of the Universe. It in the title doesn't say nothing about He-Man in the Masters of the Universe like the old 80s version. This one, the title is straight up Masters of the Universe, subtitled Revelations. So the whole fact of how I like how this story breaks the mold on He-Man lore in general. Like if you watched the Toys That Made Us on Netflix, it's also on Netflix. There's an episode about He-Man, and I never knew that the original concept of He-Man was supposed to be like Conan the Barbarian. It was supposed to be brutal, anyways. But because they're trying to sell toys, they can't sell murderous toys to children, so they had to kidify it, you know what I mean, and make it for kids. So I like how Kevin Smith pretty much took a toy series or cartoon series and had it grow up with the audience that originally watched it. You know what I mean? So
okay, I'm gonna tell you two things that I loved about this. Okay, one, Mark Hamill did an amazing job as Skeletor.
Yeah, as always.
And Kevin Conroy was Merman. If a lot of people don't know who Kevin Conroy is, he was the original voice of Batman during the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, besides that, like there was so many things wrong with it, though.
What? Like what?
A lot of good voice actors.
See, like you going on the voice actors, and that's cool. It was a star-studded appearance for voice actors. They had some top-notch talent on there. But and you said already you liked the story. But
but there was this.
Everything on here was dope. But the fact that Skeletor just goes ham in the beginning and kills Moss Man. And when I was a kid and I watched the cartoon, I always thought Moss Man was a bad guy. I never knew that he was a good guy, apparently. But he didn't just get killed. That motherfucker got murdered. He got a fucking fatality thrown at him. And he died. When that happened, I was like, oh shit, this is about to get real. And then when He-Man died, saving Castle Grayskull, or the whatever it's called now, I was shocked. And the whole thing with Teela, the reason why it's Teela centric is because if you watch the original show, Tila was always out of the loop on purpose. Like they explained it. Like her adopted dad didn't want to tell her because Prince Adam didn't want nobody else to know other than Cringer, Orko, and himself. Like the sorceress
and his mom.
Yeah, and his mom.
Yeah.
So with the entire show, like that was how it was. Like he had to save Tila and save Man at Arms and all kinds of shit and Stratos and all them. She never knew.
Bro.
So the fact
Where
that
was She-Ra then? She's canon in the story.
Okay, I mean they have a
like the whole thing. I never watched He-Man. I only seen like one cartoon, and that was like a Thanksgiving special of He-Man.
Yeah,
but
where he stuffed Skeletor like a turkey.
It was something similar to that. And the crazy thing about it is like how She-Ra coming in the concept with He-Man.
Well, the only reason why She-Ra, the only reason why She-Ra is in He-Man is because Hasbro was trying to capitalize on action figures for girls.
Mm-hmm.
Girls had Barbies, so that was their take on Mattel was to how do we get girls to get our toys, and like She-Ra toys weren't like He-Man toys where He-Man was like buff as shit. He couldn't bend his fucking arms. He can only do this shit with his goddamn arms.
Yeah.
And so She-Ra was actually like a Barbie doll looking kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like she was taller and all that other bullshit.
But she was never in the cartoons with He-Man.
She was in a couple of cartoons. Literally in a couple of cartoons, they tied her in there because again, it's a toy company trying to sell kids a toy through a 30-minute commercial.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how she got introduced. And then she had her own show. And then they still did a crossover here or there with Adam, Prince Adam and shit, because she had her own bad guy, which was Hordak or some kind of, he looked like a vampire, Morbius looking motherfucker. Okay. So that's my answer to you, Skribs, on why isn't She-Ra and as you being so anti heroine in the story, you're really up in arms about some goddamn She-Ra, motherfucker. So
if you wanna watch She-Ra, dog, they got She-Ra.
They got a She-Ra show. They already got a She-Ra show on Netflix.
Watch that, man.
This is what I'm trying to say, though, bro. Your brother get killed, you ain't gonna show up, cuz. Your brother get killed, you ain't gonna show up.
She's on a whole different side of Eternia. She probably don't even know what's going on. Maybe they might even show her in part 2.
So she's He-Man's sister.
Yeah, twin sister. She's kind of like a Luke and Leia situation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But again, Masters of the Universe.
That's it.
Masters of the Universe. It was mainly focused on He-Man and his group of friends. She-Ra was appeared in like a couple episodes, and then they gave her own TV show.
Yeah, He-Man goddamn Pegasus. From what I saw on the Netflix show, I loved how they made it a sequel instead of just starting the cartoon all over again.
Like they did in 2002. 2002, they tried to reboot He-Man brand new, and the animation was dope, but it was a reboot, just like you said.
You talking about on Cartoon Network?
Yeah,
I didn't watch that. But
I think it was on Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon, one of them. But it was still good. It wasn't it wasn't old He-Man, but I like, just like you said, I like how this was. I also like how this was just a sequel.
Yeah,
oh shit!
The sequel was dope as hell, even though it does have He-Man's name in it, and he didn't have a lot of parts in it. It was still good as hell.
Yeah.
On determining, like, finally, I loved how they finally let, like, okay, Skeletor got what he wanted. I feel like that. Because I'm not saying I love villains, but you always wonder what happened if the villain wins.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing about it is, like, he got his way, but it didn't really work in his favor because it messed up a bunch of his subordinates and all that.
Yeah, like Triclops. Dude, that shit was crazy. And in the old cartoon, he used to get his ass whooped all the time.
Yeah.
He'd get punched in the face, fucking Battle Cat probably eat his eyelids and shit. He always gets fucked up, but then this time it flipped. The whole the power dynamics swapped around because of what happened.
Yeah, it was. That's what made it so cool and interesting, because you think like, okay, Skeletor got his way, so he's gonna win. Da da da. Now at the beginning, man, took all the magic out of Eternia, so the whole universe is gonna die. And it was just to me, it was a cool ass story. It was cool as hell.
That's what I said. The storyline wasn't bad, but it's not a sequel to the He-Man Master.
It is a sequel.
It is a sequel.
It is a sequel,
and it was good. Like you could say,
only the
well,
first
it's
part.
more about. You could say it's more about Teela, but she had a great story also with it because she found out about Prince Adam being He-Man, and she like
they had that closure.
Yeah, she was mad, and she got done with magic.
Let's talk about that scene real quick though, because when the king found out, he's like, Man at Arms was like, "I'm sorry, Your Highness. I didn't want you to know. Like this." He was like, "I banish you, and if you come back, I'm gonna kill you." And he was like, "Man at Arms, take this disgraced man at Arms." No, she's like, "No, fuck you, fuck all of y'all."
Yeah, it was straight. It was real cool, man.
I liked it.
The story was dope.
And to touch back on the Skeletor bit, and just like any cartoon, whether it's G.I. Joe, fucking Transformers, all those bad guys, they always do something where they mess it up. Like they do a monologue too goddamn long, and while they're
they talk about what they're finna do and all that.
Yeah, they talk about what they're finna do, or they do the opposite of what the obvious thing to do. Mm-hmm. Like when He-Man, when in the old cartoons, like it's like a minute, 2 minutes of him just fucking transforming, pointing the sword at Cringer, turn him into Battle Cat. You know what I'm saying? And then he's He-Man. And in this one, Skeletor said, "Fuck this shit." Cut to the chase. As soon as I have this, and he just stabs him. Like, why didn't you think of that years ago? And in the beginning, like
he didn't know Adam was He-Man.
What's the difference?
It doesn't matter though.
If you're gonna have Mark Hamill as Skeletor, there needs to be a hell of a lot more Skeletor in this damn show. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just Mark Hamill is an amazing voice actor.
To be real, even the dude that played Death, he was kind of Skeletor.
Yeah. He was kind of like Skeletor.
And I bet Mark Hamill played him also.
And that man, like, all right, the way that they treated these characters, it was very reminiscent of the Transformers cartoon movie. When you actually see your heroes die and stuff. You know what I mean?
You talking about that that Transformers Netflix?
No, the old 80s Transformers movie and shit with Unicron and stuff. Mm-hmm. Well, in that one, Optimus Prime dies in the first scene too. Mm-hmm. And that was real reminiscent of that. And just like in Revelations, Optimus Prime gets resurrected, like how He-Man got resurrected.
Yeah.
But then in the Transformers movie, other Autobots died, like Ironhide and I want to say, I think Ratchet died too. But it's when you're a kid and you see like your favorite cartoon heroes die, it does something to you. And Kevin Smith pulled the same moves with this one because Orko died in this one, fighting that.
Hey, it's
Skeletor looking motherfucker and shit to save Teela and the rest of the crew.
Hey, shit. No, that's Candyman, man. That's Tony Todd. It does voice of Scareglow.
I mean, I don't care who he is, but he killed fucking Orko. You know what I mean?
It's original Candyman.
That's the thing. Like you're stuck on the actors and stuff, but we need to get to the substance of the actual story. Motherfucker Barack Obama could be goddamn Teela and shit. It don't matter. The story is what.
Well, I'm
the story is what making this shit work.
And I'm here to help everybody.
Kevin Smith wasn't afraid to go that route. You know what I mean? He wasn't afraid to kill off He-Man. He wasn't scared enough to let Orko or Roboto die with their sacrifices and stuff, or let Mossman get a fucking fatality thrown at him from Skeletor at the beginning. Because when that happened, I was like, this is gonna be some deep ass shit.
Yeah,
if you've ever watched later, Kevin
he didn't
Smith
have no cares, bro.
No cares, dude. Straight.
Females are
in the old cartoons.
Females are almost always the hero in Kevin Smith movie and show.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Almost always, and that's There's nothing wrong with that, but that's also why he promised that this was not going to be a Tila story. But so far it is.
It wasn't. It was. She had her parts in it, like Roboto Man, or like Roboto had his parts, where he had to forge the.
I think everybody had their parts, man.
Yeah,
the reason you saw, the reason you think it's
going to be 3 parts to this, right?
I don't know. I know they.
There's a second. There's gonna be a second one.
There's 2 parts to season 1, but if they did
when's the second
part
come out? What, next month or something?
I don't know. I think so. I don't know. I haven't even got that far.
I haven't even bothered to check.
But everybody had just like what Sir was saying. Like everybody had their parts. You know what I'm saying? Like Orko he had his parts after he was bonding with Evil Lyn, and he talked about his origin, about where Orko came from, because when he was sent to Eternia as a kid, he couldn't really speak, and the only thing he could say was Orko, and that's what He-Man and them learned, and that's how they just called him Orko. It's short for Oracle, and him having his growing moment, and he did his part to save everybody, was with his self-sacrifice. Same thing with Roboto. Like some of that episode was about him trying to get put that sword back together, and he had to do it by sacrificing himself. So it wasn't just a Tila movie. Even like her homegirl had her own parts and stuff when they were fighting Triclops in his cult, which is crazy as shit. Like motherfuckers drinking techno juice and then turn into goddamn Beetleborgs and shit. That's crazy.
Like I said, the story was cool. It's just I feel like you're
hung up on
piggybacking. I know I'm hung up on the fact
you don't want no female heroine, dog.
Yeah, and you got a daughter. That's the thing that's crazy. That you got a daughter.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that it was called a Master of the Universe sequel, and it's really it's not.
Yeah. So what the master? So hold on. You're saying that a master has to be a dude, though?
No, I'm saying it should have been called like the Rise of Skeletor, or like something other than Revelations. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, if it was the Rise of Skeletor, it would be talking about
Skeletor's backstory. All right. If you like Revelations, if you look at Revelations in a biblical sense, there's nothing good that happens in the book of Revelations. You know what I mean? Anything that has a title with subtitle Revelations, it's gonna be some fucked up shit. It's gonna happen.
And someone's coming back from the dead.
That's what I'm saying. So, and it was saying the Masters of the Universe is plural, and it's not. It doesn't say He-Man in it at all. It's just Masters of the Universe.
No, it does say He-Man.
It's just Masters of the Universe. I was just
it says He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
Oh, okay. But it's not.
But it does say He-Man and Masters.
Piggybacking, bro. This is what I'm telling you. He piggybacked
the Universe Revelation.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is he piggybacked his storyline, his narrative off of this, instead of just owning up to it, saying like, "Yo, this is not going to be about He-Man. This is going to be about other people."
No, it did have a story about He-Man.
It had a story about He-Man.
It did. I mean, you get to
that was the main
all the old He-Mans before him as well. And like all that part was cool, but it was like, man, all right.
Hey man, I like that they had. I like that they had.
See what you're doing.
I like they had Gray Skull as a black dude, bro.
A lot of
that was dope. And then that was another thing too, because like in the old show, they never talked about like the only thing I knew about Castle Grayskull was the fucking background behind me and shit. Was that fucking ugly ass castle, and then He-Man gets struck by lightning and he turns into He-Man and shit. But you never knew where the name came from, and it brings out more of that lore and stuff.
That's where they should have went into more.
And who's to say they did, and who's to say that they won't do a prequel about it? You know what I'm saying? And talk about the other heroes, because He-Man, like She-Ra, like if you watch the She-Ra on Netflix, they talk about how She-Ra is a title, it's not a person. So like the He-Man deal is like just like you saw the previous He-Man, it was a title passed on to them. I think you're hung up on the wrong thing, dog. Because this show was good.
Bro. Look, I'm not the only big He-Man fan. There are a lot of He-Man fans trashing this damn thing. All right, there's a lot of them, it got like a 40% from non-critics people. You know what I'm saying? It's like actual He-Man diehard fans.
Bro,
that are like,
I'm not a
Kevin,
diehard fan, but it last to me it was dope as hell.
See,
they've been sending Kevin Smith death threats, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, you know, and that's called toxic fandom, bro. Toxic fandom got us the Snyder Cut.
I apologize. Let me apologize. It is not He-Man Masters of the Universe. It's Masters of the Universe.
Okay.
Revelation.
That's all good.
So there you go, Scripps.
It's not a He-Man cartoon,
there you go, Scripps. There
it's
you
just
go,
Masters
Scripps.
of the
You got
Universe.
what you wanted, didn't you? Masters of the Universe Revelation. Is that what you wanted, Scripps? It don't have He-Man in the title.
He-Man is not in the title.
Is that help you out, Scripps?
I will be with you if it was He-Man in the Masters of the Universe. And then I'll be like, yeah, there was barely any He-Man.
Is that what you wanted, Scripps? Is that the answer to your question, man?
But this show
right now.
This show has opened up a lot of possibilities with this franchise. Netflix.
Is that what you wanted, Scripps? Now what you gotta say, Scripps? I don't hear what you gotta say now. It makes you feel better now.
Masters of the Universe, you think of He-Man, cuz you think of He-Man.
Why are you switching up, man?
No, bro.
This is got like I was waiting for the epic, like long night Game of Thrones full episode of the two of them just getting at it. A bunch of people dying, crazy shit happening.
Hey, time out, coach.
Didn't even happen.
But you remember, this is a cartoon, dog.
It's a cartoon. That's great.
Kids cartoon.
This is a cartoon geared towards people from 30 years ago, bro. Like this should be adult.
Hey, man. I just want to know. He-Man's not in the title. He-Man's not in the title. It says Masters of the Universe. So now you know why it wasn't a big.
I wasn't the one that said He-Man was in the title, cuz.
You did say that.
You did say that. You was arguing about it.
That was Esther said He-Man was in the title. I said
I thought it was in the title, but you did say it says He-Man and the Master of the Universe.
He-Man and the Master of the Universe, not Teela and the Master of the Universe. Where's She-Ra at? Would you hate that?
You trying to put this on me, dog?
She-Ra better show up in this second part, bro. If you're gonna try to make this a heroine story,
I'm gonna be real as a diehard He-Man fan, I can care less if she showed up. To be honest,
I'm gonna still watch it.
I never watched She-Ra growing up. When I saw She-Ra growing up, I was like, "Oh, girl."
Hey, man, you need to watch that Netflix cartoon. On,
I watched the one with my daughter. The new one.
I couldn't watch it, bro. It looks too cartoony for me.
It looks like Steven Universe and shit. The way that they drew that shit. I don't like the new art, the new animation.
Hey, watch that Scripts. Watch that Scripts. You do some She-Ra in your life.
He gonna be writing hate letters for real. Because hey, She-Ra, She-Ra on Netflix is woke as hell. You thought this was woke? Go watch She-Ra and you're gonna fucking march. You're gonna storm the damn Capitol. You watch.
I did watch She-Ra. That's
hold on, dog. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 97, man.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 97, dog.
It's just him and a couple of dudes on Reddit that are mad about this shit.
Hey, man. And you one of the people that on YouTube, you be the 5 thumb down, don't you?
Yeah.
The 5 of them that have a thumbs down.
Yep.
Damn.
Hey, I wouldn't be surprised he go to personal account and he thumb down this video. like you pointed out before, a lot of times the voice acting talent was top notch. Like you pointed out before, the story is good.
Yeah,
it's all the makings of a good show. You just don't like
it. The animation was dope too.
You just don't like it because He-Man wasn't running around his goddamn furry underwear beating up Skeletor the whole goddamn time.
Hey, and bro, you did. That's all what people want to see, bro.
Why is He-Man in the title? But
you did at the beginning, like,
hey bro, you gonna say, hey, you gonna say it got a 97% of Rotten Tomatoes, but you ain't gonna say it got a 4.7 on IMDb though. Why are you trying to change the narrative, cuz?
No, you're changing the narrative, motherfucker, because you're the one that's talking about
49% of Google users. 49% of Google's like the show, bro. Rotten Tomatoes, the only people that gave it great reviews. A lot of critics liked it.
That Texas Heat is a hater.
I'm gonna change that 49% on Google. I'm gonna give it a thumbs up just for you.
Hey, bro, look at this though right here.
Hey,
Okay,
it's not
and you said
49% no
She-Ra,
more, it's
right?
50.
You're talking about She-Ra being very woke on Netflix, and I like that She-Ra show.
I liked it too.
Why was she not in this? It has done a
All right.
complete disservice
no.
to She-Ra for her.
Because
not
if you
being
watch,
in
if you really watched it, you would know that She-Ra isn't She-Ra from this show. She-Ra is a title passed down from warrior to warrior, or chosen one to chosen one. It's a title. Like we learned with He-Man, he wasn't the first He-Man. There was other He-Man. Like Grayskull was the first He-Man. So that's why you're not going to see that Netflix version of She-Ra, because that's not the She-Ra that you're.
I'm going to tell people right now, if you're coming into this hoping to see a bunch of He-Man fighting, that ain't going to happen, and you're going to be very disappointed.
There was some fighting.
That first
I said
fight was
He-Man
dope.
fighting Skeletor. If you want to see a bunch of that, it ain't going to happen. There's like
Man at Arms did his thing.
Episode.
Yeah,
I like all the Man at Arms fighting.
Yeah, it was fighting. It was some fighting in there, dog.
They did fighting, bro.
You did say
I'm talking about He-Man.
You did say you wanted a big.
Fight.
Hold on, dog. You did say you wanted a big battle, dog. You got that in the beginning of the show, bro. So that enticed you at the beginning of the show, dog.
That wasn't. It was like 10 minutes. That wasn't even 10 minutes.
You wanted a full episode of a big battle.
Look, yeah, Game of Thrones style, cuz. Like, look, I want
Hey, part one of season one. It's part one of season one, so there's going to be more coming soon.
It better be.
You are literally the only person that I know personally that doesn't like the show, because He-Man isn't running around doing He-Man 50% shit.
On Google, cuz. You think I'm the only person, cuz?
I said personally. But what you're doing,
I think, and to be real, the show just came out yesterday.
That's what I'm saying. Like what you're doing right now with the other people that are hitting this hard negatively, it's the same toxic fandom that spurred out Snyder Cut. It's the same toxic fandom that made John Boyega not want to do another Star Wars movie, or just let people look at Star Wars in a different light because that toxic fandom shit. This He-Man, this Masters of the Universe show is good. There's a lot of story beats that hit right. It's not too woke, and it's okay to have a heroine take the lead on a TV show that's been dominated by a one dude.
It is, but it's not cool to have that show that's been dominated by one dude basically almost be just the driving plot of the show and not actually be on the show.
That's what makes it compelling, though. It's like he starts out doing He-Man ass shit, and then Skeletor took it too far. He-Man he did what he would have done, and he sacrificed himself to make sure everybody was safe. So then everybody is reeling off of the effects of what happened that transpired.
I guess we agree to disagree.
Okay. What you wanted was a reboot.
That's what he wanted. That's pretty much what he wanted, was a reboot.
You wanted a reboot.
I didn't want a reboot. I wanted a reboot. I feel like they took what could have been told in 20 minutes and they stretched it out over 6 episodes.
5.
And that frustrates me because I would like to know more of what happened after now Skeletor got the power of Grayskull. I want to see what goes on here. Like the first part,
they're going to do a part 2.
3 acts.
They're going to do a part 2 of season 1.
So okay, so the main thing you mad that it was 5 episodes. Now we get to the bigger point. Now we get to the bigger portion. We're mad that it was 5 episodes and you want more.
Yeah,
I'm mad.
Now we're on to some.
He's mad at his 5 episodes. He's mad at the female.
More Skeletor. I couldn't care less about that. I want more Skeletor in there.
Hey, but you were selling the you were blowing up, man. Ain't Taylor Mercier
battles.
This
is what I'm saying. This is He-Man and Masters Universe. This is She-Da Man. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, it
like,
says
okay,
Masters of
It's
the
just
Universe,
Masters of the
dog.
Universe. There's no he or
promote it that way, then, cuz.
It
They
did.
They
That's the
did.
name. It's Masters of the Universe, dog.
There's no
Hold on.
pronoun on it at all. That's about as woke as you can get. There's no
said
pronoun.
master-
It's
It
just
said Masters of the Universe, man.
plural. Masters is multiple masters. There's no he, she, us, we, them. There's none of that shit. It's just Masters of the Universe.
Come on,
I think
Scripps.
you had I think you may have your expectations set way too high on something that I don't know.
That's what he always do.
But
I'm
Like
trying
Mortal
to
Kombat,
find the article where
Space
Kevin
Jam.
Smith said this.
I think you're
This
overthinking
is,
it.
this is basically a bait and switch. Basically, what this is for the
Bait
show
and
to
switch.
stay woke. It's a bait and switch. That on all
You
like,
read that in the
production,
article. You read that in the
the
article.
trailers, the trailers.
You saw that
all they
article.
do,
You saw that
all
article.
they
Hey, the whole time I was
Hey.
talking, he was reading the article
He
to
was
find
reading the article,
one thing
dog.
that was helpful
Nah.
for him to get into context.
I saw that article. I saw that
All I'm
article.
saying-
Now you trying
and
to
it's
make
true.
up. No,
This is what I'm trying to say.
No,
Is that
you
it is
going
a
out
bait and
there-
switch. All
Hey,
all
dude,
of the
stop
advertising
plagiarizing,
for
man.
this,
Stop plagiarizing.
all of the
dog.
advertising
You
for
weren't
this has
thinking
got
that.
He-Man
Stop
all over it.
plagiarizing.
Hey, cite your source. What's your source?
My source is Yahoo News, cuz. All right.
That's a good. Ooh, that sounds good. Oh man, it's a
Sound good?
bait and switch.
Yeah,
It's a bait and
Motherfucker.
switch. Ooh,
Ain't no
yeah,
bait
it's
and
a
switch,
bait and
man.
switch.
it was not a bait and switch.
I,
but
lied. I saw that
they-
article, dude.
They already
that.
marketed it as Masters of the Universe. You saw He-Man and you like how I thought at first. I thought it was He-Man until I saw the title and then watched it and it all makes sense. Kevin Smith did his thing.
Yeah, Kevin Smith did real
Mark
good. dog.
Hamill, Liam Neeson, the Candyman dude, all the voice actors, they did their part. The writers,
Silent
Bob,
Bob did his thing, dog.
they did their part, man. They
Silent Bob did his thing.
Not their part.
man.
They did their motherfucking thing. That's how I want to end this my part of my conversation.
Hey, let's end this show with the reviews, man. Go ahead and do the reviews.
Bro, I give this a 9.
A 9.
I give it a 9.
What do you give it, Scribs? Go ahead, give it. Go ahead, Scribs.
I gave it a bait and switch, cuz. That's the word I was trying to think of the whole time. Bait and switch.
You want to think
If
that
you come in, it's a good storyline.
I thought they go to Yahoo to
But
get,
if
to
you
get
come
the
in
word.
thinking it's gonna be about He-Man, you're gonna be sorry wrong. All right, it's gonna be a 6 out of 10 at Ferris with the storyline being.
Go ahead. Like we told Scribs 100 times, it's not He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. It's Masters of the Universe Revelation.
Yeah.
And Revelation meaning someone dies. We already spoiled it for you. Someone dies and they're coming back. It's a revelation. And it talks about Masters of the Universe.
And what would you
It
give?
has He-Man in it. And it's a great ass show. I give it an 8.5. It was a good ass show. And they come out, it says they'll come out with the second season probably later on this year.
Yeah.
Like, they do the first season, the early beginning of this year. So later on the end of this year is going to have a second season. Shout out to Silent Bob for doing his thing. So we got me 8.5. Black gives it hold on. Black
Yeah.
Black gives it a 9. And
Hating ass
Scripps, you give it a 6, right?
Yeah, that's a
he
fair
read another article.
He reading more articles to get out and find out what else he can say. It's a bait and switch. So
It is a bait and switch. It was a word I was trying to think of. I was like, God, what is the word I'm trying to think of?
Because if it was a bait and switch, a bait is basically saying it's He-Man show. They never say it's a He-Man show.
Yeah.
Did you
A
watch all
bait
the
and switch is
trailers?
basically if you bait someone in, it would have been called He-Man. It says Masters of the Universe.
If they came out just like you
If
said,
you're
they
gonna
came
watch a
out
Batman trailer and it's got Batman all over it, and then he's in it for 5 minutes.
No,
this
it
ain't
never-
no goddamn Batman movie.
No, that's
What
like
the fuck is this?
Gotham. That's like Gotham. It's like Gotham.
Gotham never showed Batman till the final episode.
What's the name of it? What's the name of it?
Gotham. There's
Boom.
a difference.
Okay,
It's
and you
about
got
the
Masters
city.
of the and you got Masters of the Universe, Revelations.
It's not a big difference. It's literally the same thing.
Masters of the Universe.
It's literally the same thing.
It's not though.
That's like
it is.
Hey, that's
It
like
is.
seeing the Justice. That's like seeing the Justice League, and you see a couple episodes without Superman or Batman.
And he
It
get
still
mad.
gonna show the Justice League.
Dude,
I
I like,
Green
for real,
Lantern. I don't want to see
That's
Green
like-
Lantern.
That's like watching the
Exactly.
Avengers. That's like the Avengers. That's like the Avengers movie, and you don't see no more of the Flash. I mean, not the Flash, but Quicksilver.
It was like
I know
people's
you're talking
biggest gripe about. It was like people's biggest gripe about Avengers Endgame. You didn't see the Hulk much in it. Like that was people's biggest gripe about that movie. Like, damn man, I just want the Hulk to come back out at some point. Cause like, what the fuck was that about?
Hey, we're gonna end this off.
This is where
We got
I'm
a
hoping.
6, we got a 6, we got a 9, and we got an 8.5. So
This is where I'm
basically,
hoping Kevin Smith.
with our great scores, a 6 is still better than a 5. So basically, you need to see this show, get them viewers up, make sure everybody watch it, because the more people that watch it, the more people that gives it a thumbs up rating, they will be likely doing a 2nd, 3rd season, 4th season, or 5th season. And I am hoping that they have more seasons of this show because it's a good ass show.
It's good.
Rather than being a reboot, it's a sequel. So
This is a must
if
watch.
you want to see a reboot of everything starting back over, this is not the show for you. But if you want to see a sequel on everything that's going off of the story, watch it. So this is the unintelligent graduates reaction video to He-Man. Not He-Man, but the Masters of the Universe Revelations. Thank you.
We're out. Peace.
Peace.